Hello, how are you doing? Hope you are good. Now, there's a story I promised to bring. So, the title of the story is When Love is Bitter. So, let us imagine. Have you ever seen when love is bitter before? So, if you don't know when love is bitter, so this is what the story is all about. When love is bitter, just imagine. What do you think this story is all about? A lot to talk about. But let's dive into the story. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much.
In a quiet village where the red earth met the whispering palm trees, there lived a young man named Chinedu, the first son of his family, a boy born into responsibility before he even understood its weight. They said first sons are pillars. But no one told him that pillars often stand alone. Chinedu had two younger brothers, Obina and Kolechi, and a little sister, Adis. Their parents were kind in words but cold in affection. While his younger ones received laughter, food, and soft praise, Chinedu received instructions. Be strong. Provide. Endure. Love, for him, was a duty, not a gift. He woke before dawn to fetch water, worked in farms after school, and still found time to teach his siblings by lantern light. When their parents passed away after a brief illness, the entire village turned their eyes to him. Now you are the father, the elder said. And he accepted it. Chinedu sold his father's old bicycle to pay school fees. He skipped meals so his siblings could eat. He took on labor work in distant towns, returning with warm clothes and tired eyes, but always with money for their education. Obina became a banker. Kolechi studied engineering. Adis went to a prestigious university. Each success felt like a seed Chinedu had watered with his own blood. But when they rose, they did not look back. At family gatherings, they spoke English with pride and avoided mentioning him. They sent messages rarely. And when they did, it was not to say thank you, but to complain. You should have done more, Obina once said. You were too harsh, Adis added. Chinedu smiled, but something inside him cracked. Still, he loved them. Years later, Chinedu married a gentle woman named Ifinanya. She was his peace, his answered prayer. Together, they had two children, bright as morning sunlight. But life, like a cunning trickster, does not always reward kindness. Work became scarce. The little savings he had began to fade. Then came the sickness. Ifinanya fell gravely ill. Her body weakened like a candle burning in strong wind. Desperate, Chinedu reached out to his siblings. My brothers, my sister. I need help. Your sister-in-law is dying. Silence. Then excuses. I'm currently tied up. Things are not easy here. I'll see what I can do. But they had money. They had comfort. They simply chose not to see him. Days turned to weeks. Rent piled up. The landlord showed no mercy. Leave my house if you cannot pay. And so, Chinedu and his family were thrown into the streets. Rain fell that night like tears from heaven itself. Under a cold, lonely bridge, Chinedu held his children close while Ifinanya lay weak beside him. Thunder roared as if the earth itself was angry. Papa, is Mama going to die? His daughter whispered. Chinedu could not answer. Before dawn, Ifinanya took her final breath. Her last words were soft, almost carried away by the wind. Do not let bitterness steal your heart. Promise me. Chinedu wept, not loudly, but deeply. The kind of grief that does not shake the body but shatters the soul. Days passed. Hunger and sorrow became his companions. One evening, as he sat outside a small roadside church, too broken to enter, an old pastor approached him. My son, the man said gently, why do you sit in darkness when there is light? Chinedu replied, because I have given love all my life, and all it has given me is pain. The pastor smiled, not with pity, but with knowing. The pastor smiled, not with pity, but with knowing. Then you have not yet understood love. He led Chinedu inside. That night, Chinedu heard words that pierced him. Even Christ was rejected by his own, yet he loved them still. Something shifted. Not suddenly, but deeply. Chinedu knelt and prayed, not for revenge, not for justice, but for strength to forgive. Life did not change overnight. But slowly, doors began to open. A church member helped him get a small job. Then another opportunity came. A kind widow offered him and his children a place to stay. His honesty and diligence caught attention. Years passed. Chinedu rose, not with noise, but with quiet grace. He started a small business that grew beyond the village. His children went to good schools. Peace returned, not the fragile kind, but the kind rooted in God. One day, as he sat in his office, 3 familiar faces walked in. Obinna, Kelechi, Addis. But they were not the same. Their clothes were simple. Their confidence was gone. Life had turned on them too. Bad investments. Betrayals. Losses. They stood before him not as proud siblings, but as broken people. "Brother," Obinna said, his voice trembling, "we have come to ask for your help." Silence filled the room. This was the moment. The moment where bitterness could finally speak. The moment where revenge could bloom. Chinedu looked at them, really looked. And then, he smiled. Not the smile of a wounded man, but the smile of one who had been healed. "You are my family," he said softly. "Sit down." Tears fell from their eyes. "Why?" Addis whispered. "After everything we did to you, why would you still help us?" Chinedu paused, remembering the night under the bridge, his wife's final words, the pastor's voice. "Because love is only bitter," he said, "when it expects something in return." The moral of the story. From that day, the story of Chinedu spread across villages and towns, not as a tale of suffering, but as a testimony of grace. For true love is not proven when it is returned, but when it is rejected and still chooses to remain. And so the elders would say, be careful not to poison your heart with bitterness, for the sweetest victory is a love that refuses to die.